Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking in on the sectors. So today was a day where gap ups are for selling. As we know, when we're in daily downtrends, lock in that profit. When you see a gap up open, the vast majority of the time, that's the right decision. It's just a rule of thumb. That's what I did. I was out of my position within the first 20 minutes of trading today. And now I'm all cash and patiently watching to see if we can form a 4-hour higher low and get the inverse head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hour time frame that we were looking at in yesterday's video. So, potential entries based off of 2276 support, looking for that higher low, and then we would have to see a break next week, unless we got one tomorrow, which would be very surprising, but 2475 would have to break next week. S&P 500 had a good day, but still remaining extremely cautious in this sector, because if we do not get this 4-hour trend change, what is this pattern? It's a daily bear flag. Daily bear flags are showing up across the sector, and it's going to be up to the bulls to prove, the burden of proof on the bulls to prove to us that it is not daily bear flags. If we get that 4-hour higher low and higher high, then we'll be looking up towards $26 or so on CGC. So looking at Cron, it's a daily bear flag at this point. 4-hour time frame for clarity, have to change the 4-hour trend to try and negate the possibility of that daily bear flag. Even if we change these 4-hour trends, it doesn't mean the bear flag's out of the question. So let's just look at CGC as an example again real quick. Let's say we confirm the 4-hour trend change and get up to $26, and then we reject from $26. That's still a potential daily bear flag. Considering where we dropped from, if we only get to 26 and then we start rolling back down, that's still a daily bear flag. So 4-hour trend change must for all individual names for this bounce to get follow through. If we get 4-hour trend changes and no follow through, we zoom out and look for the daily bear flag. And if we don't get the 4-hour trend changes, we're headed back down to the low very quickly. ACB, still one of the weaker names, doing the exact same thing as everybody else. 4-hour time frame for clarity, have to hold 538 and break 571 to change the 4-hour trend. APHA. APHA on the 4-hour time frame. Definitely stronger. So, noticing a little bit of a difference, a much better day for APHA bulls. We can consider this a double bottom down at 583 and 579, and it's all about 680 now. So that definitely stands out. We want to know who's standing out of the pack with everybody else correlated to each other, and I'm definitely still interested in APHA to see if the weekly higher low can form and if the bulls can try and get some follow through over 760. TLRY, daily bear flag. 4-hour time frame, has to change the trend. This is probably the weakest one that we've seen so far. They had news this morning about an acquisition. Perhaps, I didn't read the news, the headline or the article. Perhaps there's dilution associated with it. I don't know and I don't care. But we've got 2552 support and 2797 resistance. OGI, daily bear flag. 4-hour time frame, have to change the trend. And don't have to do it tomorrow. We can pull back tomorrow and still be looking for that 4-hour higher low on a lot of names, as long as it's not high bear volume and as long as we don't pull back too much. Best case scenario, as far as someone like me who's all cash right now, I would like to see a red day tomorrow and then bulls show up Monday and Tuesday next week to confirm the 4-hour trend changes. VFF, very weak bounce attempt, didn't even break the high of yesterday, rejected by 3 pennies, so it's more of a tightening sideways range on the 4-hour time frame. This is one of the most shorted names in the MJ space right now. So just a lower high every single day, the last 8 days in a row, still intact. T-God stands out to me. I've been saying that a couple days now. The reason being the clarity of this daily pattern. And we're looking at the last higher low. Almost a double bottom, 295, 293. And it's all about 332 resistance. If we can't get over 332, we'll look for a higher low compared to 293. And for this range to tighten up into early next week. But as far as a couple support levels go, not many individual names have a couple support levels from the last 6 weeks of trading. LABS, very weak bounce attempt, didn't even break the high of yesterday. 4-hour trend has to change. It's still very weak. Cura, nice follow through. Even the fact that we just broke the high of yesterday is a good sign for those bulls. Looking at the hourly trend, 894 is a higher low and held that at the end of the day, 917. Have to be cautious of losing the hourly uptrend, which means a daily higher low will have to form. So if we lose the hourly uptrend tomorrow or Monday, we'll look for a pullback and a higher low compared to 775. Look at this resistance of 976, pulling back just under that today. That's the most important resistance level for me. And if we reject from it, it's not a perfect looking head and shoulders, but the psychology of the pattern is there. Lower high, lower low pattern, inability to break resistance, have to form a higher low, and then break those lower highs. So Curaleaf, definitely going to be on watch next week to see if that can follow through. CWeb, also a little bit better of a bounce than most individual names. 4-hour time frame has not started consolidating in any real way at this point. We need a higher low and higher high to change that trend and to fend off the potential of a daily bear flag. So a name like this, the odds of a daily bear flag are much less likely than a name like TLRY. Just looking at those two charts. OH, still not a whole lot of clarity. I'm watching the range now. We have a higher low at 678. Bulls must break 769 to prove anything to us. And it looks like we might have a 4-hour equilibrium forming. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. IAN still extremely tight, unable to get any follow through over resistance. We broke it by a penny. Bulls have to break 345 to prove anything in the short term. 345 is the highest price that we've seen in about 8 days. So if it breaks, it would be notable. And if it doesn't, the bears have complete control. TRUL, very weak bounce, close at the low of the day. Daily bear flag setup. 4-hour trend has to change to prove anything. MedMen, higher low looks formed now. We're watching this pattern, tightening range. So the higher low was 241, now 253. Anything under 284 is just a lower high. Looking for this range to tighten into at least mid to later next week. NGTII, gap up open for profit taking. Significant move off the low in just 3 days. The bounce was 17%. And now, have we lost the hourly uptrend? Not yet. 1126 is a higher low. If we lose the hourly uptrend, we need a daily higher low and a daily follow through. Follow through, somebody. Higher low and higher high on the daily chart, for the love of God. So the names that stand out to me that I'm interested in, T-God, Cura, because of the recent strength and the earnings reaction, and the fact that it's the USMJ leader as far as I'm concerned right now. So Cura, T-God, APHA has my attention. Still watching CGC to see if we can get any bounce follow through, because I do believe that has an important impact on the sector as a whole. That's really all I'm interested in right now. And again, my trading activity in the sector has slowed down. Nice little short-term gains on CGC over the last couple days, but not going to get too aggressive down here because the bulls aren't proving anything to me. So there's no shift as far as I can see at this point. We're just looking for those daily lower highs. Change those 4-hour trends is step number 1. And then we'll talk about the potential of what's needed on daily trend changes. If we can't even change the 4-hour trend, then the daily trend changes aren't even in the discussion. They're not even on the table. So stay protective out there. And we can be looking for, I was talking yesterday, people can be looking for bearish entries on daily lower highs. Although the fact that the S&P 500 is holding its support well, I personally wouldn't want to be looking for bearish entries in the MJ space if the S&P 500 breaks 294.15 and then is looking back to the all-time high. So we'll see tomorrow. Again, not required to change the 4-hour trends tomorrow. We just have to look for healthy pullback for a 4-hour higher low. And then Monday, the bulls would have to show up. So I'm not holding my breath. And commodities is a great place to trade while we wait for the MJ sector to give us back some nice opportunity. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good rest of your day. We'll check back in over the weekend with both the US and Canadian MJ sectors with more tickers involved. I'll do some footage of around the farm here as far as progress on raised beds and things like that. And we'll end it with some Iceland. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good day.